بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Carrying on the subject of money, and my concern is talking about money, not any other issue, which is the currency unit, because there is a lot of details. I can't just let myself drift in a sub-issue. My concern is money. We explain the Goldsmith phenomena and the system transferred from just one individual businessman through a lot of details, which I mentioned. I'm not going to go through it. You can go any money history book, a lot of details. That become the bank. And the human structure being developed to the modern state. And is now we live under the control of modern state, whatever your political view is about 163, I think. I'm not sure. But each state has its own banking system. There's a difference between a bank and a banking system. Country or state have a banking system, which has a commercial banks or clearing bank, and those banks under the control of the bank of banks, our central bank, whatever name you prefer to call it. Within development, the history, the state cannot, or they think they cannot be independent unless they have the monopoly of the banking system, which mainly producing the currency. I'm very careful again to use the word, because if I say have the producing money, it's not money. Then we have to be very careful using the word. They're producing the currency, whatever the currency is, sterling, dollar, franc, lira, whatever it is the currency. And all this development doesn't change the nature. They still produce the fiduciary receipt. They change the name, it's become a banknote. And when we talked about trialing Goldsmith, and he was doing illegal by producing or doing the fraud and producing this fiduciary receipt, the bank become the only authority to produce such receipt. But within among the details, internationally, they accept that these receipts should be redeemed to gold. And here is the trick. And they call it the system of having both ways, while you can redeem the gold, and we've seen the promise in the sterling still there, and that was the promise to pay the bearer the sum of the written amount in the note. But because they know they will never face a full redemption of all the receipt they issue, they have they allow to issue more fiduciary receipt. I'll still stick with the name in order, or I would like you, the idea doesn't go in your mind. Still, there's a fiduciary receipt. But some of them you can go a guarantee to get the goal. Until 15th of October, no, the 15th of November, 1971. Yeah, 15 August. Sorry, I'm very sorry. 15th of August, 1971. President of the United States was President Nixon, has abolished the redemption. Yes, exactly what I said. He abolished the redemption. The receipt which you believed, you thought that receipt backed by the gold, which you can go, especially the dollar, and all the currencies was based in dollar. You can go, or sterling, you can go and redeem the gold. In August 1971, President Nixon has stopped that, cancelled that. You can argue whether he has the right to do or not. He's done that, and that's past. It's history now. Then all the currency, all the banknote become fiduciary receipt or fiduciary note. That's why they call it fiduciary fiat money. You check it. People call it sometimes funny money, as I mentioned before. Marcus called it metaphorical money, but anyway, that was the case. This paper does not allow you to go anywhere and redeem your gold. Where the gold gone? It's in the vault of the central bank. Oh, nobody knows. It's somewhere, but it's not used anymore. That's it. It's gone. And this is a very dangerous situation. Before even the court has announced Goldsmith was guilty and this is illegal act. Now it's the state itself say it's legal. Even more, even in the dollar now, you call it the legal tender. It's nothing to do with money. It's a legal tender. They say too many reasons. One of the silliest reasons, they say there's no enough gold in the world. You didn't even use the gold to claim there's no enough gold. Anyway, it's another, when we come to the Islamic point of view, we will explain maybe the sufficient amount of gold in the world. Then you remember in the beginning, people went very honestly to put gold with goldsmith with a good intention for safe, to keep it safe for them. Now it's gone. What if it's gone, never return? Here is a situation. There's no gold, and I wonder some scholar still say it's this banknote backed by gold. There is no more gold. That's it. No more gold or silver. There is only a fiduciary receipt. A banknote is not worth anything but maybe the price of the paper and the ink. It's more complicated than this, but I'm just concentrating about the currency, the currency unit. And here it is. We are in a system 100% based on a fiduciary fiat money. Whatever it is, sterling, dollar, euro, even China, Japanese, the whole world is a fiduciary fiat money. But I would go back when Goldsmith issued this receipt and he lent it. He gave it to somebody as a loan. And he, in that situation, created debt. And the debt is negative. And I would like to emphasize that to explain the next phenomenon. You can't create a negative. There's no negative exist. That's why I was careful to say he created out of nothing. Nothing doesn't exist. Zero does not exist. Infinity does not exist. Those two figure, which is the mathematical science built on it, does not exist. That's why mathematical is an approximation, is not an absolute. But leave that aside. When he created that debt, he created a negative. And this against the physical rule of the world. When you say, for example, to explain that, minus 8 apple, there's no such thing called minus apple. Minus apple means there was positive 8 apple and you took them. Then minus is a mathematical position. It's not a quantity. But Goldsmith has created that negative. And that negative was like a bubble, expanded bubble. And add to it usury. And usury does not have equivalent, a physical equivalent. It's another bubble, bubble for bubble. And the system based in the same bubble. That's why every period, we get this burst the bubble. The last one is 2008, which is, they call it the crunch, which has changed the whole concept about controlling the monetary. Before they target the inflation or the money supply. Now they have a stimulus and completely different after that crash. It's the idea, you can't say they didn't know. They know. The people who run the system know for sure. Because it's an illusion. It's a magic. You have to accept that this is the reality. Otherwise, why the crunch has happened? They explain it because they lend too much against physical properties. But that amplified the price, and when they get the true price, it's less. The difference is a bubble. It bursts. Exactly the same. People want to get the true, the golden server against the receipt. They can't. The bubble is burst. They break it, bankruptcy. What's amazing in Europe and America, they have a free, they call it free finance. They base it in promoting the good companies. And they leave the bad, the loser company to die in order for the other profitable companies to flourish. When the bank have a loss and in the crunch, the whole world come and help the bank. They bail out him. They give him money. I'm very careful. Sorry to use the word. They give him money. How do you give him the money? Where the money come from? They create another bubble. That's why the next bubble to be burst is inevitable. But it's the time when. We don't know when because we're not in the control of the system. But it will happen because the nature of the system built on bubble. And the whole thing is against the physical rule we live in. And in here, I just wanted to mention, they decide in one day that this fiduciary is illegal. Now it's legal, but they adopt the system. And that it takes us to the one who makes the law. If you give it to the man, that's why he failed. That's why I'm not going to be tired repeating that. For human science is divine. Its condition and rules is divine, it's from God. He knows everything, and he knows the history, why it's coming and why it's gone. Then it's not going to change because he deals with this, with things in its reality. That's one thing. Then that system is built in bubbles. It will burst one day, for sure. There's no doubt. But you say when it's burst, who's losing? In the system running, if it is default, deficient, somebody losing and somebody's winning. Then there is no fairness. That's why we have all these problems and suffer. One of the reasons, at least. And that system, it does not match the physical rule. And that's why we say humans have a choice. And in order to be in harmony with the physical rule, he has to apply the divine rules. Do and don't. I hope I made it very clear. And next phase, because somebody will say, oh, it's very good to criticize the system. What is the alternative? Next time we're going to argue the Islamic concept of money. And you will enjoy that because now you know the fault, how in Islam avoid these faults. But before I leave, it's my duty, my intellectual duty, my academic duty to introduce somebody who's English, non-Muslim. He's not a scientist, he's a professor called Frederick Sophie. This man here. And his book, you can see his book. Nobody can doubt this man's intelligence. He wrote some books. This one called Money versus Man, The Rule of Money, The Virtual Wealth. The best books in economics ever written is by this man. Check it. Now it's easy to check. You go Google or make any search, you will find them. The story of that man is very important. He was top of the science class, and he studied science all his life. And his nature or attitude, he was faithful to the society as a good human being. And he said, we are scientists, we've been educated, the society spend money on us, give us the tool, the labs, and all that, and we work very hard. And the fruit of our work is discoveries, inventions. But where this gone? You go to the street, can't find it. It's not there. And that brings the question, who is preventing the result of our work for the benefit of the society, who took the burden of paying all this? And he discovered there is something called economic that stop promoting your work. And in economic, he find the core issue is money. And that, just saying that to the Muslim scholar, which they come with all the negativity I talked about, they say it's Islamically, these banknotes is Islamic. Well, how can be? How can be if it is usury? And Frederick Soddy has put it in a such way, no one else has put it as clear, as good as Frederick Soddy. Maybe Adam Smith was the father of economics. But I am not going to judge person. He's done a good job, Adam Smith. But most of his work was about division of labor, which is now a boring story. But Frederick Soddy was relating economic to the physical world. Try to find out and to look out, search him and see what he's right. And with this idea of bubbles, you meant, I don't know, as we say, there's a loser and winner. See where you are, a winner or a loser. It will be more clear when we come to explain usury and the Islamic concept of money. Now we close the negativity of money. We start next episode the positive side of money, which is the Islamic concept of money. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.